Hello everybody, it's me and Eldest back with another video, and today we'll be talking about Sonic Superstar. Basically, my review of the overall experience that I had with the game. Took me maybe about 10 to like 15 hours to beat it. It's not really long, but there are reasons that it took me longer to beat it. I will admit that I never unfortunately had the chance to play this game multiplayer, because multiplayer can only be played locally, not online. The reason for that, they said, was because the game was just, quote, too damn fast, so they didn't want to have people experience lag and latencies and all of that issue, so they just kept it to local play. Except the battle mode is actually online at the current moment, and you can also play with online friends, but I haven't really played the game multiplayer, so this is just the overall experience, you know, of a single player point of view. Maybe I'll be able to play multiplayer eventually and do a video on that, but as of now, this is just a single player perspective. So just to get the main thing out of the way, is that I actually really did enjoy the game. I think the story was solid. I think the character designs are amazing. I cannot get over and express how beautiful this game actually looks. I think the transition for these 2D classic characters to 3D were done beautifully. That was definitely one of the biggest things I've noticed with this game, is how beautiful it looks. The character designs, seeing some old faces like Fang, seeing new faces like Trip. I absolutely love her being in this game. I feel like each of the characters do have a different play style in each of the levels, so some of them are easier to play at certain parts than others. I think they had some cool little cosmetics, like the Lego character pack that I did use, or you have the classic Amy, for one, where she gets her modern Amy outfit. I thought that was really cool. I think the level designs, a lot of them are very unique and much different, because they didn't reuse any levels, so we don't see like Chemical Plants or the casino or Green Hills. You see all new maps, so I really like that they really were innovative with this game and tried new things. That's definitely the biggest plus of the game. I think the boss fights, the Lost of the Boss battles are unique with their own unique design, and I think the music, while there are some of them that do sound like Sonic 4, which I know a lot of people do not like the music from Sonic 4, most of the music I think was memorable. Especially, I love the ones from the jungle act. I forgot what it's called, but I really did like the music from that act. Oh, and the cinematography, a lot of the cutscenes, not just from the cute little cartoon cutscenes, but just from the cinematographies when the bosses would get introduced. I really love the cinematography of those. Beautiful. Of course, this game does have a few problems that really hold back. Really holds back. The number one thing from the main story, because there's a main story, there is a Trip story, and then there is the last story. So, minor spoiler, a warning right here. For the main story, it's easy. It's really easy, and a lot of the reasons for that is because there is unlimited lives. So unlike Sonic Mania, where if you die and you lose all your lives, you have to restart the whole act, you don't get that with Sonic Superstar. You just keep on going until you beat the level. And for the main story, that really does take a lot of the difficulty away. I wish there was an option where you could add them to make it more of a challenge for people that want it, but that was not an option. Now, this also is a nitpick, but something I did like in Sonic Mania is how if you played Sonic, you could also have a Tails companion. I really wish Sonic Superstar did that. I get that this game is not Sonic Mania. I know a lot of people treated it like a Sonic Mania 2. I tried not to, so that's more of a nitpick, but it would have been nice if they did that. So unfortunately, they didn't, so you can only play with other companions if you have other players to play with you. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. I think personally for me, I think the rings disappear way too soon, and some parts when it comes to the bosses where you really need them, I feel like they were very harsh on how long the rings last if you get hit. Also, I think the game can be very sluggish, and I'm not talking about like momentum, because I think the momentum when they start running is actually faster than Mania. I'm talking more of the spin dash. The spin dash feels so fucking slow, especially at parts where you would be thinking to use the spin dash to gain more speed. It actually feels like you're going slower. I felt like I got more momentum jumping than when I spin dash, which I don't know how that was possible. I don't know what happened, considering that this game is supposed to be about speed. The spin dash feels so fucking slow. It's so sluggish. I just can't empathize how that was probably one of the thing that really dragged down the experience, was how sluggish it really got. And then the last boss of the main story, it was definitely a challenge, but nothing too hard to beat. It took me like an hour, I think, to actually beat it, but I did enjoy it overall. But then you get into Trip's story, where you essentially redo the game as Trip, except it's harder. Now this is where the difficulty really amps up. I did rage quite a bit playing Trip's story, especially for some of the bosses, which got ridiculous, but I did have fun. It wasn't until playing the final boss in Trip's story, where you fight Fang again, where I absolutely lose my mind. It took me 3 hours and 55 minutes to beat him because of how ridiculously hard he was. Like 90% of the moves in this game were one hit. 90% of the moves in this boss fight were literally one instant kill hit, which made me lose my mind. And I even said it in the live stream I did, is that it's not, like in the Final Horizon Sonic Frontiers update, like that was really hard, but in the open world it was more fun and forgiving because you weren't restricted to just one little area, and you had moves that you could and strategies that you can differentiate from a while and actually get more stronger and be able to use your abilities unlimited times. There wasn't just a limit for that, so there could be more fun and rewarding challenge. But for the final boss for Fang, when you're literally going around in a circle and you can only use your powers like twice in the entire boss fight, yeah, it was annoying. It is in my opinion the worst boss fight I've ever fought in a Sonic game. It was ridiculously hard, it was ridiculously restrictive, it was ridiculously repetitive, frustrating. That is just the word to describe it, just frustrating. I was losing my goddamn mind. It was frustrating. But the thing is that once you collect all of the Master Emeralds and beat both of those stories, you get the last story where you fight the final boss. And I actually really liked that boss fight. It was challenging, but it was also wasn't overly difficult. You're supersonic, and it's a lot more fun because you get to you are pretty much invincible, but you have to collect rings and keep collecting rings so you don't run out. And that was actually really fun. I liked the enemy, I liked the mechanic, I liked what I was able to do, and it didn't feel so restrictive. And the controls itself felt more loose and free in this boss fight. And that was actually probably my favorite one of the entire game, was the last story. And I briefly mentioned it before, where it came to powers. So as you collect more emeralds during the special stages, which I actually didn't mind the special stage, I felt like there were it was fun. If they do get harder the more you do them, but I actually like them. But when you collect the Master Emeralds, you get powers. They're all different. One of them you can use clones to attack enemies. Another one where they reveal secret hidden platforms and coins you can get. One of them is where you can burst into a fireball and launch really high in the sky. Just different ones in there, and they can be very useful in boss battles. Now, they're not always useful in the levels themselves. Sometimes the game will let you know when you can use it or when it's meant to be used at this point. But I will admit, for the main story, they weren't as useful compared to when I was playing Trip Store, and that was probably because of the difficulty, but they became very fucking useful in the boss battle. Now, some of the moves are not as useful compared to others, but I'm not going to complain about some of them because I used them a lot to beat over some of the harder bosses in Trip Story. But I do wish there was more ways to use them in the actual level instead of just the boss battles. So my overall and then battle mode, I played a couple hours in it. It's not terrible. I thought it was fun to play with a lot of other people on there. I wish I could have footage on my own, but I could not get OBS to record it, so I'll probably be showing like other people's videos of the battle mode online. It definitely was more of the multi-experience up there, but I thought it was really fun. Nothing like over-the-top special, but it definitely a nice addition to the game. Once again, there are like other meta cosmetics that you can do with that you can unlock as you progress through the game and everything. So, and then also for the bonus orders, you got the Lego Eggman version, but then there was like the Lego skins that you can have for the characters, which I did use. So it's a fun, sweet game. I don't think it's worth the $60 price tag. Well, I actually paid $70 for it, one, so I could get all the little cosmetics, and then I actually bought a PlayStation 5 pre-order deluxe version so I can get this cool little Sonic Superstar little statue that I'm probably showing on the screen now. Pretty cool that I have on my desk, not gonna lie. But I think the game is worth like the $40 range, which, I mean, at the time that I'm recording this, I'm pretty sure Sega's getting ready for their Black Friday or their Christmas sale, so it's probably going to get around that low price range eventually, so definitely look for that. And that's when I say the game is worth it, like a $40 sale price tag. It's not Sonic Mania. I think that, you know, to expect Sonic Superstar to be up there with Sonic Mania might have been a stretch, because Sonic Mania was, to me, it was a masterpiece, a 10 out of 10 easily, because I absolutely love Sonic Mania, but I don't think that Sonic Superstar is a terrible game. I think it's a good game, but when it gets a drag, it is such a fucking drag. But when it's fun, it is a really solid, fun, classic Sonic game. And it's a shame, because it's just like, if they didn't have these few little issues in the game, I think it would be really solid. But I guess kind of like Sonic Frontiers, I think Sonic Superstar is a groundwork to what could, you know, what they really could do, because a lot of things in Sonic Superstar was them trying to be new. It's kind of like the classic Sonic Frontiers, a groundwork, but the next time they do a classic game, the next project for the classic Sonic characters could really amped up what they're able to do, and I really am looking forward to see that. So it's fun, it's not terrible, it's not amazing, but it is a very fun experience, and I'm pretty sure the game could be more easier and fun with multiplayer. I can't speak on that though, because I never played the main story multiplayer, but maybe if I do, I might add on to that later. But for now, for a solo player going through the solo experience, it was actually really fun. So I do recommend this game on a sale. Don't expect anything like Sonic Mania, and I think you would have a really fun time, and I think it would be kind of cool to try this with multiplayer. So I'm gonna give Sonic Superstar a 7 out of 10. Like I said, it's not like amazing masterpiece like Sonic Mania. It's nothing like, you know, I like Sonic Frontiers better, but you know, the games are much different, you know, but it's not terrible. I think it was really fun. I actually overall enjoyed this game, even though I will never touch the final Fang boss in Trip Story again, because that was like ridiculous and one of the worst times of my life, the worst agonizing 4 hours of my life. But it's fun. There's a lot you can do with it. I like playing Trip. I think all the characters, you have different playable, you know, experience in the levels and the designs and the boss fight, which is amazing to have. Cosmetics are cute. Get it on a sale. You'll have a fun time. So yes. And with that being said, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. I post and stream as often as I can. Have you played Sonic Superstar? Did you like Sonic Superstar? Do you think Sonic Superstar is actually better than Sonic Mania? or do you think that or do you think Sonic Mania is better and that Sonic Superstar might be overhyped? Because at the time that I'm recording this, Sonic Superstar actually does have a positive rating on Steam now, which is really cool, and he got nominated for Best Family Award for the Game Awards. So I mean, I guess the game did get some cool recognition, and you know, at the end of the day, I can't really ask for more, because if it's fun and entertaining, then cool, it was worth everything. And as always, till next time, bye bye.